once again, and it's still raining everywhere in the world. And apparently, in the United Kingdom, the sun came out for about half a day last week.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
Well, yeah, when it first started coming out, I thought, someone's put the lights on. I
Not
realized
for
it was the
long.
sun. Oh, goodness,
We're
every
back
morning,
to normal
murky.
here as well. We can't boast. Well, we
No.
can. It's warmer rain here, but it's still rain.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're going to be privileged with your presence, madam, this week.
Very
That'd be nice.
exciting.
I
Very
shall
exciting.
pray for the sunshine. It's due out on Thursday, apparently. So there you go.
No.
Before that, we've got to dig deep, haven't we? Well, no, we haven't. It's on the surface now. Let's start with Kier, and as his friends like to call him. That does amuse me, by the way, when you get a politician from the same side. It's Kier. I mean, what do they call him to his face in cabinet? Well, we won't go there.
Oh,
But
I can imagine.
it's all very friendly until the lovely Angela comes along.
Oh, this
Says,
frightening.
well,
She's
I
queuing up.
warned you.
She's queuing up. She's queuing up. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if they have there was a thing just now on GB News about, an election, maybe a Labour election. I can't believe he can stay, but he seems to
No.
be impervious to anything. But I mean, it's who would come in. She got in, it would be even worse, I think.
Well, he's got this far, hasn't he? But before we go and drill down into that, let's do our usual I'm sarcastic now, NHS hiring of incest supporters,
Unbelievable.
specialist nurses. Now, we're gobsmacked about, and they're still chest binding and giving drugs to people that are mentally ill, and they're young people, they've not developed properly yet. And they are breaking the law in many, many ways, the NHS. And now I've seen a picture that I daren't show of a Pakistani family sitting, mum and dad, married cousins, and three children are on the floor, obviously severely affected by what is incest, it's being called. And that's probably the right word. The NHS are supporting these people.
When I saw that, I literally couldn't believe what I was reading. And I read it again and I thought, this is absolutely appalling. I mean, there's a reason why we don't have family connections to get married and have babies with, is because of the high risk of disformity. I mean, why would you want to? I just can't get my head around it. And it is. I mean, if you were having sex with a member of the family and you're young, I mean, that's child abuse. I mean,
These
that's a
exactly
prisonable offence.
these three children in their teenage years were on the floor dribbling,
Oh,
absolutely out of it, and that is for the rest of the parents and their lives. And
absolutely.
it's double the rate at least
Oh, yeah, for sure.
if you marry a cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it has to be. I mean, you're not coming from a different gene pool, are you? It's inbreeding. It's not advisable. And that's the reason why we don't have it, isn't it? You can't. I just can't get my head around the NHS. I really can't.
Well, it's not a new thing, this. When we used to live on the Isle of Wight, there was a famous village there that only got husbands and wives from the village, and they were inbreeding with all the desperate consequences. Now, Queen Victoria had a favourite place to live, and that was on the Isle of Wight. She built a magnificent palace there.
Beautiful.
And when she arranged to spend more and more time there, she got to look at the local affairs. And Roxall was the village in the south of the island. Her palace was in the north of the island, but the island is not very big, so it's a short distance. And it was horrendous. So she got a platoon of soldiers, I quote you the actual wording now, to water down the inbreeding. So she let them out one day to have a look at the local talent, and that was a remedy. You couldn't do that these days, but she did it.
Well, my sister did her teaching practice on the Isle of Wight many years ago, and she used to say, I mean, going back, look, she couldn't believe it. The whole of her class were interrelated, all of them, and they it was extraordinary. She'd never seen anything like it, and she hadn't ever since, But that was how it was.
Right, we move on because it's a deep thing what is happening to Starmer and co. And the betting, which is usually right, as we know. Never mind political opinions. What do the bookies say about an incident? That he will hang on till he gets literally thrown out by the public
I agree.
in the May elections. And then we will have a choice. So let's look at the choice, shall we? We've got the lovely Angela. Can you imagine her being Prime Minister? What she got one GCSE? I'm sorry, you do need a basic level of intelligence to be a prime minister, although one
Abs-
wonders sometimes. But apart from that, her track record is extremely left wing. And for her, which she would do, bring back this Bill of Rights for the trade unions. I
mhm,
mean, it is going to go in there, somewhat watered down.
mm, mm.
You can only imagine what she would bring to the party.
Oh, I'm dreading it. Absolutely dreading it. I mean, is she going to be more left than Starmer?
Oh,
What is she going to bring in?
considerably. She's in the
It,
pocket of the unions and
well,
the
this is why
union.
that's why she was always there as deputy, wasn't she? Because of the unions.
Yep, and the unions have got their way again with the
Exactly.
impending young doctors
Hmm.
that are not content with 26%. They want 50% or
Mm,
whatever the cumulative
mm,
total
mm.
is.
I just worry what she'll
Basically,
do with spaces like, oh, was it villages are too white? Did you see that the other day? We're too white, like where we are. We have an Asian lady who's very, very well heeled, and everybody else is white, all of us in the village, and they want to mix that up now, don't they? And they want to. There was another thing going on about forbidding, because of the Muslims, not allowing dogs to go in nature places, and it's just awful. I mean, I dread to think what she's going to do, because they were saying something about reducing the spend on crumbling churches. That was going to be all attacked as well. That
well,
where
they're not.
these it's like the one in our village. I mean, it's 700 years old, and it needs a repair, which everybody is trying to chip in with. It's not coming out of the government coffers. It is a worry. It is a real worry.
No,
Um,
it's the VAT that they're not going to be allowed. And it's penny pinching, as so many of the Labour philosophy is about.
I do not understand how any of them can stand up in front of a camera and say, we have made people better off. We are the party that's like protecting people. Everywhere you go, it's more and more expensive, and people losing their jobs. I mean, where are they living? They can't be living in England. They absolutely can't. I mean, and also well, the migrant situation is just awful, isn't it? I'm very pleased to see that Rhiannon White's mum, I hope she does GoFunding so she can actually sue. 'Cause that man should never have been in this country. He hadn't passed the asylum assessment, and he should have gone out. And they're not very quick at kicking him out, are they? There was another one I saw the other day that he should have been deported about 3 years ago, and he hasn't.
That's right. Let's leave Angela because she's bad enough, bless her. What about Miliband, who's
Oh, I mean,
another
is,
option?
is this the pool that they can fish from? I mean, Miliband. I mean, really, I mean, no thanks.
Well, he'll make us have a windmill in every one of our gardens. That's the first thing that'll happen with him, of course.
No, thank you. It's a half wit.
Yeah, well, no, I think you're wrong there, but it's a quarter wit springs to mind. Then there's your pal Burnham from Manchester.
Don't like him either.
No, you don't, do you? Is it
I
a gut
don't like him.
feeling? So
No,
what is
I don't
it?
like him because he must have known about the rape gangs up there. He can't not have known what was going on in Rochdale all
Absolutely
around.
correct. He cannot possibly have
He
known.
can't not have known, and he kept right under the radar, and he wasn't doing anything with Greater Manchester Police to actually up their game and their arrest records. So no, I absolutely do not trust him. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust any of them. I think they're all
Oh, well,
awful.
you won't trust Mr. Wes
Oh,
Streeting either, will you?
no,
And
don't like.
nobody else will now because there is a little stain there, isn't there, with
Oh,
Mandelson, because Mandelson was his teacher,
oh, was it now?
his tutor in politics.
I didn't know that.
There you go. And you've not got a big pond to fish in, have you?
Oh,
All this lot.
really? I mean, but
You've
none of them, though, Rodney, I mean, none of them have a Scooby-Doo about running a business. Or, no one on that front bench has ever run a business and understand, because that's what being in Parliament is, isn't it? You're running a business. The country is a business. And
yeah,
you've got all sorts of different departments that try to earn money and fix things and all of this. And they don't have a clue how to be business-like. Certainly Angela Rayner with her tattoos everywhere and her boobs hanging out. She's awful.
well, there you go. Boris seemed to enjoy the dispatch box at times, allegedly. But there we go. Boris is
Well,
Boris.
Boris would like
Or was.
anything with a heartbeat, wouldn't he?
Uh,
I don't think that's particularly a selection process. I think.
perhaps not. Well, look, let's get back to the man himself, Starmer. And when he gave that wonderful speech where he was obviously heartbroken when he said sorry. I've never heard more unsorry speech in all my
He
life.
was sincerely insincere,
Yes, that's the word.
sincerely insincere, and he was so measured and so, you know, like I am sorry, I am sorry, and it didn't a load of eyewash,
Well,
nonsense.
he obviously was practicing that for hours and hours, and it
And
came
in
out
front of a mirror.
even more wooden
No,
than he normally.
it was actually pathetic. And do you know what did annoy me as well? While he was going on about all the people that, the victims we have to think about. Well, he hasn't thought about any of the victims over here. He
No,
hasn't thought of any of the victims that have been raped by asylum seekers, that are raped and exploited by the rape gangs. He hasn't said a thing about them. The shocking amount of child abuse cases and social services. No, 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 nothing about that. But I'm very sorry about those who are harmed by, the Epstein thing. But then that always gets me wound up as well because everyone goes, I mean, yeah, he's a thoroughly unwholesome, revolting man. There's no doubt about that. But we were told that Jimmy Savile was the worst paedophile ever to walk the planet. And then we were told El Fayed with all his goings on. I mean, this is wealthy, entitled, narcissistic, egotistic men who think it's okay to violate children, women, and boys, girls, men.
have you seen the photograph? And it must be quite
Oh,
old.
not
It was in black and white, believe
oh,
it or not.
Mandelson in his underpants.
No, worse than that.
Oh,
Keir Starmer with Jimmy Savile. Apparently, he, as a young child, met Jimmy Savile.
there we go. There's quite, I think this whole thing raises more questions than answers.
At the moment, it does, but
I really do, because with Epstein as well, he had to have had hidden cameras because some of these behaviors. There was a thing I saw the other day of Epstein. It was a video of him chasing two girls around like a dining table. They were like young teenagers, and the thing with Mandelson in his budgie smugglers, whatever you call it, I mean, he was, I mean. There could not have been someone there with a camera. It absolutely had to be a hidden camera. I'm 100% certain of it. And I think he did this probably all around his house. He did it or whatever, and with the intent of blackmailing.
Yes, that's the only conclusion that you can reach.
Because and the one, why would you? The thing with Andrew, why on earth would you have a camera and taking anything where he's like trying to give
Well,
resuscitation
with
to
the
the girl on the floor?
inordinate number of emails, of photographs, he was covering, forgive the expression, his own backside
Yeah,
because they were open, clearly, all his mates, to blackmail, to
absolutely.
not releasing what was really going on there.
Exactly. And also you think now there's the Clintons are now going to go to Congress, aren't they?
Yes.
But they were going to be subpoenaed. So they've gone probably outmaneuvering that
Oh,
because
yes.
they know what's there that's very damaging. And I've known for years people told me what the Clintons were up to, and I thought, oh, don't be ridiculous. But there's that photograph of him with a long blonde haired, very, very young lady on a side of a chair with his arm around her, clearly being photographed, like posing for a photograph. That's just very weird. And he went, was it? He went on the private jet, what was called the Lolita jet. Well, there's a clue, isn't it? The Lolita jet. He'd been gone to the island 26 times.
Yes, I mean, obviously he likes the sunshine
But
because
then to say
he doesn't
with
get sweaty.
3 million pieces of paper, whatever it is, that there's no evidence of somebody needing to be prosecuted. Excuse me? What about this? What about the housekeeping staff? They must have seen stuff.
I can't wait to see what Netflix do with this when it's at the apposite time. But in all this, Starmer is up to his neck, and more people are saying, when will somebody hold Starmer's feet to the fire? And that is quite right. And it makes me inordinately mad to think of the murders, the rapes, and Starmer, it's your fault for not doing anything about it. For your
Absolutely.
own political ends and stupidity, you will not change your globalist philosophy. I think he's on the verge of, quite frankly, being out of his mind.
Well, I mean, I
Because
didn't. What really upset me though as well was that really did upset me that nobody from government has offered to meet with Rhiannon White's mum. And that was a particularly nasty murder. I mean, all
yes,
murders are nasty, but that bloke watched her all day, followed her to the bus stop. Well, after he killed her, there he was dancing around, laughing. Oh, well, he was on drugs or what, I don't know, but it was
probably.
particularly distressing, absolutely awful. And that dear little boy of hers, the mum was very, very articulate, and I hope, really hope she does go funding and do what she wants to do. But I just think it's awful that no one's met. Awful, awful, awful that they haven't, no one's asked to meet her or invited her. And yet, when we had the Stephen Lawrence case, all that was years ago, I mean, uh, what's her name? Mrs. Lawrence, whatever. I mean, she's now a baroness, isn't she? I mean, she was invited in and all of that, to see whoever the prime minister was then. I can't remember. Would it have been Blair? Can't remember. When there's Stephen
Does
Lawrence,
sound a clever Mandelson Blair move.
I can't.
Worth checking into that. But again, you've got to ask the question, how much are the civil servants involved? I'm sure they are
Oh
in
yeah.
all this. There is a set, the blob, as we call it, or Dominic Cummings christened it, and he must know. You've available under English law of actually taking Starmer to court. And we've been inquiring into this. And there are traps along the way, but as a private individual, you can take him to court. On what basis? Well, the basis that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Literally, you are responsible for murder and rapes because you could stop these illegal immigrants coming in now, and you won't, you horrible man.
I know, I know. And was it Shabana went over to Denmark last week, didn't she, to see how they're coping with it? Well, they don't let them in. End of. They don't let them in. Excuse me. I mean, I still say there is no reason why can't they throw up some barracks on a derelict island off two or three of them off Scotland, where no one lives, there's no one they can harm, they can't get to the mainland, and there they sit until they've been processed or flown back. It can't be that difficult. He doesn't want to do it. He
Course,
doesn't
it's
want
just
to do it.
not within the man's thinking and never has been. But he's so taken up, of course, with the rejoining the EU. You can't do everything.
But you
And
can't, but that, I mean, we had a referendum about that. How can he ride roughshod over it?
they can. These people have got mega power and they've got mega friends.
Yeah,
And it's interesting to note that, and we have mentioned this before, and it is worth repeating. Georgia Maloney, I'm a great fan of her.
me too.
Yeah, she's there within the EU, shackled with ECHR, and yet she turns around and says, "No more Pakistanis coming into my country." Just imagine saying anything like that in Britain. You'd be in jail.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Racial discrimination.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, but what's he, is she throwing out the ones that are already there or not letting any more in?
Not letting any more in. I
Right.
mean, she's done what she can. But talking to our guy in Rome the other day, I learned from him that they have a similar problem to Italy as we do in the United Kingdom. And that is the lefty lawyers. And that's what Maloney is getting round the whole time, or
Mm,
trying to. And
mm,
it's
mm.
exactly the same. They're part of the blob, the lefty lawyers.
Yep,
And when
yep.
I put this to a very eminent European barrister who is a pal of mine, I said, "Look, can anything be done?" Well, he said, "Well, yes, but you have a problem." I said, "What's the problem?" "Well, let's take an imaginary example. Let's go for the illegal immigrants. They have got 25 lawyers available to them to
I
argue
know.
my son needs um, chicken nuggets, and therefore he can't get them where we've run away from, and they'll get him off. And it
We
will cost, this is the nub of the thing, it will cost the illegal immigrant nothing. Whereas if you or anybody else tried to hold Starmer's feet to the fire through the courts, you could not afford it.
couldn't afford it, absolutely. And there was another one. I can't remember which case it was. It could have been. It could have been an asylum seeker with a 12-year-old girl, but the barrister for him said he had just turned into becoming a Christian, and yet he raped this 12-year-old girl.
Interesting.
That was the argument from the defense counsel that he just turned, changed his faith. Well, that's
Yeah.
another wheeze of theirs, isn't it?
There's been
But
a lot.
if you're a Christian, you just turn to be a Christian. You don't rape a 12-year-old girl, do you?
Men, not usually, but obviously these are not usual circumstances. Let's get off this subject and let's go to Pandora and the box. Well, not really. Pandora are the world's biggest makers of fancy chains round your wrists
That's right.
that you stick little
Little charms on.
charms along, and you can either have a gold one,
Mm.
a silver one, and now they're flogging platinum like mad because they want to get out of the silver market. And as the biggest charm bracelet manufacturers in the world, they should know a bit. And what they're frightened of is the way silver is going up and down like a yo-yo. And they cannot, conduct a business without knowing what the future is going to be. In other words, they don't want to be Labour politicians. That, oh, we'll have a stab at that. And we'll be in business again because we've got all the money, we own the country. No, you can't do that. You've got to plan ahead. So silver is not the right place to be. It's halved in value, then it's doubled in value. So they're going for platinum. What will this mean? Well, instead of paying 50 quid for and I've never seen one, but apparently they exist, a ring on your finger, £50. Good deal. A platinum one, £1,700. There's a bit of a difference there.
It's
That's
funny, isn't it? I don't, it's not a metal I particularly like. I
no,
I
it's
like silver. I like, see, this is silver. This is solid silver. I like it. It weighs a ton, really does. It's very, very heavy. But I like the way it shines and lightens your face. And I find platinum quite dull.
oh yeah, you can clout your old man with that, can't you? That'll be a good. So,
Tell you, I get
now
stopped.
there we are. I've said that. Everybody, some people laugh. If I'd have been reverse and and said it from a woman's point of view, oh my goodness me, would I be in trouble? Girls, you've got the advantage over us fellows.
If only.
If only, yes. Well, there you go. Stay clear. Platinum is the place to go. Apparently, that's on the up. Gold is on the up. Therefore, be very frightened because this happens before every world war, doesn't it? When people think, where shall I go for safety?
Mhm.
Gold and
Mm,
other precious metals.
mm.
And
I got my stash down in the cabin at the bottom of the garden, you know. But it's funny, I'm not a fan of yellow gold either. I do
no,
genuinely prefer silver.
it's a bit sickly.
I don't, it's the cost that's sickly. And I think your skin tone changes as you get older. You know, you don't, I think, yeah, yellow gold is nice if you've got a tan, a really nice tan, but so is silver. Looks very nice against a good tan.
There you go. You see,
Which
well,
I'm hoping to get when I come to see you in
there's
in
not a chance.
Spain. I
The
don't think I
rain is.
got a prayer, quite honestly. I'll come back with rust.
Well, we keep having to empty this swimming pool because it's overflowing into the house
Oh
because of the
no.
amount of rain. It's enormous. Nobody's ever experienced this before.
Oh, good
And
grief.
mind you, I suppose the same thing will happen when you go for your swim there.
Well,
But
when I do a belly flop, yeah, that'll be
yeah,
not a chance. February in a swimming pool, you must be bonkers.
come on. I mean, it's not cold here like it is in Britain. We move on to brain fog. We threatened this last
Oh
week.
yes, yes.
And a new dimension is coming out in all this because, quite rightly, everybody fears dementia. It's the most horrible disease you can imagine. Some people are going a bit too nervous because brain fog has been recognized for a long time, but especially after COVID or long COVID, there are manifestations of brain fog. So, what happens? Well, you become a bit listless. You can't be bothered doing things that you used to do, even a bit forgetful. It is not the start of anything that could be very serious. It is simply brain fog, and they've discovered what happens. It's that precious link between your gut and your brain that has been suspected for many years, but has now been proven. There is a direct link between brain and gut. You've got to look after your alimentary tract, what you put in there.
Yeah,
And there are certain things that should be tried before a dementia diagnosis, even. Inflammation is the evil of many diseases. It kicks off cancer, it kicks off many things. A lot of people suffer from IBS, for instance,
yeah.
more now than ever, but we're eating more industrial stuff than we've ever done, of course, quick fast food, etc., etc.
I'm
And
not.
we've mentioned about nitrates before, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Nitrate.
Magnesium, very important. Magnesium is very important. And the
It,
link, you say like the link between the brain and the gut is very much high on the list of Parkinson's UK research. That, people that have got Parkinson's should be taking the gut health yogurts, that sort of thing, and eating a lot of, it's high in magnesium. Yeah, what the gut, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Because you put grotty fuel in your car, it's not going to work. It's going to get dirty fuel. It's going to clog up things. So you've got to look at your gut as your fuel tank, really.
well, that's a good analogy. Yes. There is another thing called toxic accumulation you've got to look out for. Heavy metals. And surprisingly, you can get this either from cooking utensils. Can I say something of a surprise, but it's not really? Big fish. Avoid big fish. Right. Well, we've known for some time that a salmon, even a tuna, even a bigger fish, will accumulate metals from certain parts of the Atlantic and from fish farming as well. Bear that in mind. So many fish at the moment are farmed, and of course, they're treated with antibiotics at times because you can pick up as a fish uh, with the density of these things, like the pigs, I suppose, and
Yeah.
like any animal that's kept in close quarters. So they
I try and get fresh fish that has been line caught.
line caught is better, that's sure, but it's the oceans and parts of the
Mm.
oceans that can give you heavy metal. In fact, now they're advocating tuna no more than twice a week. There you go. But if you stick to once a week and have the fresh stuff like we mentioned last time, that's the way to get some nice tuna in for you. The other thing, of course, which is excellent for brain fog, is good sleep. And good sleep, as again we've mentioned, is get into a rhythm. Don't one night go to bed at 10 o'clock, the next
That's
night
right.
at 1 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
into a rhythm. Right, the goodies you can take to help you are vitamin D and C, wherever you heard that before. Well, these are so good vitamins. Probiotics is a good way of encouraging the gut to behave itself. And that can include many cheeses, especially the stronger ones. Oh,
Mm.
that's nice. That appeals to me. There you go.
Yummy.
Avoid industrial high ultra processed foods. And there's no excuse for not identifying these because the labeling is good generally. And
Tis.
if you see preservative,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
don't
yeah.
buy it because it's either a sulfate or a sulfite.
I spend a lot of time reading the back of packets to see what's gone into stuff.
Well, I know I have to because of the diet I'm on, but there you go. It's all there. And beware, you vegans. You think you're living healthily, and some of you are, but a lot of you, probably the majority, are not, because there's no more food that's highly industrialized than vegan food.
Oh,
Look at and it's treated all the way along the line. What you finish up with artificial meat, goodness only knows what's in that.
no,
Yes.
I'm not. I find it just so do. It's bad enough you have to cook for someone who's vegetarian, but vegan, oh, it's such a pain. It really is. I mean, my stepdaughter's vegan, and honestly, I just do salad and jacket potato. I can't think of anything else. I really can't think of anything else. Probably because I'm lazy, but yeah, I just find it a pain, sort of cooking for everybody else. It's sort of.
Yeah, there is a
I mean,
limit.
if you're allergic to stuff and you've got a medical problem, that's completely different. But can't you just, pick the vegetables off the plate and not worry about anything else? You know, it's.
Some final suggestions for brain fog if you're feeling down, you're not sharp. It might be lots of things. It could be anything from lack of iron
Mm,
as an example. Another piece of advice is get exercising,
mhm.
get out and socialize, get the
Absolutely.
brain working. And
Absolutely.
that's great for stress relief as well.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, and it's free. I mean, you can run around a field, you can walk, you don't have to join a gym. Why would you want to? They stink. I can't stand gyms. But you don't need to. I mean, you just go for what I'm up 6:30, 6:45 every morning, and I take the dog out, regardless of the weather.
Yeah, how to pick up a germ. Go to a sweaty gym.
It's horrible. The
Yeah, go
smell.
understand.
It reminds me of the school gym at the time when we had plimsolls. Do you remember? And it's
Yes,
just
those
stink.
are.
A horrible,
Well,
horrible.
I've been in a gym for 12 months. I've had to be for my
Yeah, well,
recovery.
yes, that's different.
And well, yeah, but I tell you what, I was never without a virus the whole time
Is
practicing.
that right?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting,
I mean, a
interesting.
virus loves me anyway, but in that crowded gym, you're bound to get it, people
Oh, of
panting
course, you're going to
away.
pick germs up. You're going
Yeah,
to,
there you
without a
go.
doubt. No, I don't. I don't think they're healthy places at all.
No, lastly, aromatherapy can be very good for you. If you like a particular smell and it's placed in a particular
Mm.
part of your body, then you're going to get a lot of stress relief
Oh, that's lovely.
and other things as well comes out of the oils that they use
Mm,
in there.
mm, mm.
So don't neglect some of these off-piste uh,
Yeah. Oh no, I,
cures
I think
because
they're
some of
great,
them
like
are.
massage and stuff like reflexology, all of that. I mean, it's brilliant. It really is. It's brilliant.
Well, if it works, and therefore it's a plus. Right, we're going on to the police. Mr. Flood, are you watching us and listening to us? Because apparently in the United Kingdom now we have 43 constabularies,
Oh, that's going to change, isn't it?
allegedly. I'm not surprised we got 43 constabularies when, as the aforementioned many times, man that stopped the football match or attempted to, but he banned the fans from Israel and other things. And when he gets a wage of 150 grand plus and a pension of 135 for the rest
God,
of his
dreadful, isn't it?
life,
It's dreadful.
multiply that by 43 constabularies. In other
Mm.
words, it's the NHS on steroids syndrome of
Yeah.
middle and
Yeah.
upper management taking all the money and it not going to the front line. So, how do we solve the problem? Surprisingly, it's very easy. How about this? Number one, cut down 43 to 10 if you must. Other people say cut it down to one. Let's have one overall police force with one lot of bureaucracy. Imagine how much money that could save. Number two, let's get the Bobby back on his beat because that's where the baddies are. He knows who they are and he talks to neighbours and he can head them off at the pass
Mm.
before they start doing real
So you
damage.
don't have, do you remember years ago you used to have the little panda cars going around, didn't you? You used to,
Yes,
and people do behave themselves better. Because not nobody really wants to get caught, do they? So people
yeah.
do behave better. I'm sure they do. I'm
Never
sure
mind panda cars, we must not pander to their, well, they've got to go on the beat, plod, come back, walk. Number three, um, more jails. Well, we all know that we need more jails. And therefore, why don't we look to COVID as our answer? Let's have Nightingale jails put up very quickly.
yeah.
And you needn't put the category A's in there, but there'll be place left in the other jails to do a swap. So that can be easily done. Number four, as we've mentioned, less management, please, more plod on the beat. And
But
it's not rocket science.
it's a massive job though, isn't it? I mean, I sometimes think that the bigger the force, don't you get more issues? I mean, Kent is a massive force, isn't it? Metropolitan Police, I mean, it's huge. Manchester Police, huge. Are they going to be better or are they going to get more sloppy than they already are? I
It
don't
can't be
know.
worse than it is
Well,
now.
that is true.
I
That is very
accept what you're
true.
saying, but let's give it a try, can we?
Yeah, that's very true. But once it's done, isn't it?
Well, no, we can come on. We're flexible. We're sensible. We can change things. It's not set in stone. It is at the moment under the present regime. Many things like this are set in stone.
Hmm.
Nobody moves because it suits the middle management to carry on earning obscene,
Mm, mm.
almost footballers' wages. Almost. That's another subject, isn't it? We'll move off that before we get into that. Let's have a look at reform very briefly, the 19th and 20th of this month, because they have got an absolute precious opportunity of really perhaps even bringing this government down, because they're taking various boroughs and counties to task about them making an excuse and not holding a local election.
Mm.
This is prime in a democratic society. Really, I've got to say this with regret. I don't think we have a democratic society.
Of course we don't. Of course we don't. No, they hang on to it in the hope that we have, but we absolutely haven't. No way. No way.
Well, this could legalize it and say, look, you cannot do a banana republic and go for something like this.
No.
It stinks.
It's dreadful, but it's like all this stuff with the NHS. I mean, puberty blockers. Well, that was banned, so they're doing it. Incest, babies from incest. Oh, they're doing that. I mean, it's absolutely awful. I mean, they're just doing their own thing, and no one is sticking to common sense and the law. And that's, I'm still hovering over this. Sort of the mashing up of the police forces. I mean, what do they do? I'm trying to think when we lived in Portugal, you just have a national police force, don't you?
Yeah, Spain is somewhat different. There's lots of national police forces, and
Right.
there are too many. You've got even the regions now have got their own police force, like Catalonia has
Oh,
got its
right.
own police force. But notionally, you've got a local police, which is they're a bit more than a traffic warden, but not much. Then you've got the national police who
Yeah.
concentrate on crime. Then you've got the Guardia Civil. Now, the Guardia Civil is from Franco's days, and they used to be very feared. Found them nothing but helpful. Perhaps if you're feared of them, you're doing something wrong. But they're the top of the pile, basically. And then you've got police forces for the mountains, and they
Oh,
are mounted police forces
huh?
with horses. It's easier to get around. And then from Catalonia, you've got what they call the Mossos d'Esquadra in Catalan, and they built up quite a reaction for being very fierce and not very forgiving. I have chats with them quite regularly because I want to know the local scene from a journalist point of view, and I found them nothing but helpful. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, there's a great difference in between the policing in Spain. You don't muck around
No.
compared with Britain with the police. If you do something stupid and wrong, and you get consensual, let's call it policing in Britain. Now, sir, we must warn you that's not on, and you might find yourself with a night in jail. Well, you don't here, because if you do something that's stupid because you're drunk, you will get a baton on the back of your calves, literally given. It's like going to the headmaster's offices in the old days. And of course, you don't bruise very easily there, but it's extremely painful.
Yes.
And you don't do that thing again. And oh, I want to get back to my hotel. What? And that's literally how policing works. in these mad Benidorm, Torremolinos type places where Brits go OTT.
Yeah, they don't travel well, do they? They don't travel well
No.
at all.
And the other thing that we were discussing before our chat, you mentioned somebody falling off a balcony in Torremolinos.
Mm,
And did I know about it? Well, I get bored because literally, folks, every seaside town in Spain has this once a week. And there are a number of things here. Uh, it's not only the Brits, it's other people, other nations, but especially the Brits. And it's caused by, yes, you've got it, drink and more drugs.
mm.
The barriers are not as safe as they are on the balconies of these high flats and hotels. And it will not be allowed in Britain, low balconies. You get a nice sea view, but you don't bother about that, do you, when you're on the way down? So it's very easy to fall off a balcony. And what a shame, what a loss of life, because 9 out of 10 people die.
God, I didn't realize it was as much as that. It's it. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit like when we went to Madeira. I mean, this is years ago now, and stayed at the Savoy Hotel there before it was like revamped, and somebody died on the patio on the Sunday morning. They sort of had a heart attack and died on the in the deck chair thing in front of me. And when I got back, and I was sort of telling my friend who used to be a police officer in Jersey. She said, "Oh, he used to get in the wintertime, if we had more than 12 deaths in the hotels, then we would look at it seriously. But you got elderly people coming over who are maybe unwell, got heart complaints, all this, that, and the other, that, got maybe a long flight or longish flight. And it's amazing that impact that it has on your body. And, if it got more than 12, we would think of it as a problem. God.
Yeah, and it can happen to anybody. I remember the time because we used to dine a lot in a certain restaurant, Tony Dallas, sadly no longer with us. Lovely guy. Going back to the Palladium days when he used to introduce and sing there. And he retired and set up with his son's restaurants. And the stars all came down there. One of them was Cilla Black. Cilla was often in there, and you tend to come over to your villa, and we don't know the full story. We mustn't conjecture too much. But after a long flight and a big bottle of champagne, then you're not as steady on your feet.
No.
Sadly, this brought allegedly the demise of Scylla on that occasion. And people um, think they're going to live forever in the sunshine. Nothing's going to happen here. But I'll tell you the biggest change here, never mind balconies and champers, it's the driving on the wrong side of the road.
Oh, yes.
You step out there thinking, oh, I've looked right, left, and whatever issue.
Yeah.
Sorry, you've got that wrong. Bang.
Yeah. Yeah. My son had an accident like that in Spain. And I said to him, be careful, the first day in your car, you know, just sit and remind yourself
Yeah, where you are.
where you are. And he didn't do that. And this car came out of a side road and basically wrote off the hire car.
Well, it's all, yeah, it's not as bad in a car, but if you're walking as a pedestrian,
Hmm. As
again,
you
chances
know.
of survival. Listen, we've got to go. Before we move on, though, something strange came out of Donald Trump's Davos speech as he mumbled on. He actually said that Britain and the Prime Minister were stupid, whichever way you want to take that. He was perhaps a little right more than wrong. And he mentioned that one of the great problems in Britain, and he gets it from the other side of the pond, was the amount of illegals and legal people, immigrants coming from abroad. And it was affecting the schools, the hospitals, and
Mhm.
everything. And especially it was affecting the building of houses. Because when you are going and giving houses, as they are now doing in the open, council houses,
Yeah, brand new ones.
yeah, well, I'm sorry, we've got to take you off your waiting list, Brit, even though you paid lots of tax for a lot of time, and we'll give it to these illegals. Why there's not been a blooming march?
I know.
What's the matter with you, Brit?
It's extraordinary. Everybody moans and no one actually stands up and does anything. And lots of people moan. They're moaning all the time. But people just don't. I don't know whether it's the Gen Z lot that just don't want to get involved.
Yeah, I think it's complicated, like many things that are more complicated than they seem on the surface. And another thing we've mentioned in the past, of course, this Mad Miliband escapade, whereby if you're earning less than 35,000 a year, you can get free double glazing, free heat pumps. That was interesting, by the way. They reckon only a third of the houses would be eligible. Heat pump is very, very expensive.
Mm,
And
mm,
lots of people say it's a complete waste of money. They can
mm.
say, solar panels, they can just about justify them. Some people say no. So if you're earning 35,000 a year and less, then you can get everything free. And as we said last time, that is most unfair on most families that are earning more than that and are still, inverted commas, designated poor and struggling,
Mm.
cannot go out. Well, you can't go out for a coffee anyway now, the price.
So
But, you know,
expensive.
you've got to think twice
It's
about your holidays.
ridiculous. It has really gone up. It's awful. And sometimes it's not really that nice anyway. Do you know what? I really do not understand why so many people go into Starbucks. I think it's gross.
Well, I mean, it just defies gravity in Southern Europe where you can get a coffee for £1
Yes.
and it's a darn sight better.
Oh yeah, I don't get the Starbucks thing at all. I won't, if you're on a sort of motorway stopover sort of thing. I mean, if it's only Starbucks, I don't like Costa either. I just don't. I won't stop. I'll carry on. I can't stand it. It's disgusting. Even the tea doesn't taste like tea. It's horrible.
Well, it's the sticky buns that come with it. Maybe that's the temptation.
Maybe, but yeah, thanks.
Well, we've got to stop. Run out of time. Lots to talk about. That'll be for the next edition. And I hope for everybody's sake, this wretched blast from America, no, I don't mean Trump, does stop. If you look at the charts, I've never seen weather charts like the ones we have now. Oh, it's global
I
warming.
was just going to say, is it global
Well, that's a Freudian slip warning. Well, perhaps it is. No, it's not. You can't win as a scientist or lose. Whether it's too hot, told you it's global warming. Is it too cold? Well, that's global warming. I'm sorry.
now, you see, is it weather or is it climate?
Well, I suppose you could say that. I must say that if you're living up in the nether regions of the North Pole, in fact, the lovely Jane MacDonald was doing her pole to bowl thing. I was watching last night. Jane's a real smart girl and a real nice person. We've done filming with her, and she's now, but she's natural. She comes over as a warm
Mm,
person, which she is. And she, with the travel logs, goes around on these posh boats
yes.
to extraordinary places and reacts like a normal person, not like a celebrity,
No, she's not a
because
diva.
it's all about them. It's
Yeah,
not about the polar bear or the
yeah,
ice floe. It's about them. What
yeah,
dress have they got on?
yeah.
It's the same with the programs that they take you. Which flat in Benidorm are you going to buy? Is it high up on a skyscraper? This is your second home. And all you see is not the flat, but the presenter
Mm,
wearing the most stupid clothes for a
Yeah,
hot climate, but it's all
yeah,
about them.
yeah,
And
yeah. No, she's very down to earth. She's not a diva, and that's the problem with a lot of these things, isn't it? It is all about them. It is
yeah.
definitely.
Oh no, Jane,
Um,
isn't we talk about fish and chips because she unfortunately has got this compulsive. Uh, she likes her fish and chips.
She can
Uh,
afford them.
and on that note, uh, we shall see you next week.
See you next week. Yes, very exciting. If you need anything over from the UK, like decent tea bags.
Oh no, we listen. We're civilized now. We even have Iceland over here, and we get our
Do you? Okay.
yes.
All right.
Gone are the days when we used to go to Gibraltar to pick up the English things.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
right.
anymore,
English
so
shop.
they
Yeah.
let them in. Not at the prices that you pay. You've got to pay for your acquisitions. Uh,
Oh,
that's how you make money.
well,
Right,
looking forward very much to seeing you and the lovely wife.
there you go. There's a
See you
threat.
next week. See you next week. Bye bye. Have a good weekend.